What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers, Two Brothers, and a Shot of Milk. One of our brothers, Rich, he is actually stuck in transit. He was on a cruise and he should be making his way home. He might be watching this in the car ride home. Who knows?
So
But
wait, let me ask you this, Lawrence. If we're doing just two brothers, can we go back to my original working title for this show?
No.
no,
No?
no,
We can't call it Two Blacks and a Jack?
You can call it whatever you want, Chris.
Try not to get ourselves canceled today.
Trying not to, because we're live, baby. We're live, and since we're live, we can't cut out all the stuff that Chris wants to cancel us for. But anyways, I'm Lawrence. We got Jack who just disappeared. We got Chris, and we're talking superheroes, movies, TV, video games, anime, action figures, comic books, and more. Gentlemen, Chris, how was your week? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you playing? What's going on?
2 weeks since I've been on the show.
Right.
And I've watched everything.
Hold on. For anyone that jumps on and is watching us live, we actually do this as a podcast. So although this is our first time going live, it's not our first time doing this.
Right.
So Chris has been gone. We've been doing this for a minute. So Chris has been gone for 2 weeks. What have you been watching, reading, and playing? What's going on?
Everything. I've watched everything. So I was been on a couple work trips. I've been traveling a lot. So I got a chance. I saw Barbie. Which was it really was a good look into the struggle of men in America. That was my take from it. So I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
One man's take on Barbie.
So the first time women get to jump into IP that's made for women and like rock out with it, like we rock out with Batman: The Dark Knight.
Right.
You're telling me that first time made you feel like the struggle for men in America.
100%, absolutely. Watch it and then get back to me. Like, you know what, Chris? You were right.
Wow.
Oh boy. Okay. What else did you watch?
I saw Turtles on the sneak preview. I saw it yesterday. Awesome. Really, really, really good. To Mutant Mayhem, I saw been watching Twisted Metal.
Oh, that's out?
Yeah, it's out.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, with Anthony Mackie. And it's yeah, it's
you were waiting for that.
Yeah, well, nothing, not
you were loving it. You were like, I can't wait for Twisted Metal.
Yeah, and then I've been painting figures. You know, so everyone knows I 3D print, and well, if you don't know, if you're just watching too, I've been 3D printing. You see my printer right there, and then I started painting. So I've been printing for like 2 years. Just started painting, and then Jack got a figure from someone and just completely blew anything.
Blew you out the water, sir.
Right. But my painting is getting better. So I have my Black Punisher that I painted.
Great.
I love that he's not wearing black because that'd be too much black.
My Wolverine that I painted. He's
Wolverine,
like,
that was good.
Thank you. And then I have my Black Rambo that I painted. Yep. And then and I think I showed you guys my battle damage Spider-Man that I painted.
Nice. That's got as much battle damage as the McFarlane Superman Doomsday figure.
Hey, don't hate on this figure, Jack. Don't hate on this figure, Jack.
Is that a black Spider-Man too, though?
Where? Oh yes. Well, the Black Spider-Man is still in production, Jack. So you see the Black Spider-Man. He's fresh off the printer. And he's being assembled.
He meant like African American Spider-Man.
Negro Spider-Man? Yeah. That's what you meant, Jack, right? Negro Spider-Man? Those were the words that were going to come out of your mouth? Since we're live, we can't edit it.
Wait, let me see Blambo again.
Here's Blambo.
If he's black, that means he got a freaking perm. He got a relaxer.
He's a red bone. He got the Indian blood.
He's just kind of like, Chris, Jack, we've only been off for 5 minutes, and he's gonna get us canceled in 2 seconds. Well, Jack, what have you been watching, reading, playing? What's been going on in your world?
Well, Lawrence, I'm so glad you asked. I really haven't watched much, and I haven't played. What I want to be playing is the Final Fantasy game for the PS5, which I haven't done that either. So what I have managed to do is pick up on some of my reading. So
Oh,
anyone
nice.
who's not reading the Superman John Kent storyline, they're up to issue 5 now, and it's pretty great. So he was going after Ultraman, and now he's in a whole nother universe dealing with, not really a spoiler alert, but he's dealing with the Injustice characters, and it's pretty good.
That looks freaking dope. Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna jump in. I was waiting for it to come out as a graphic novel, but I might just have to jump in now.
yeah, it's good. The art's good. The story's good. Barring anything weird that happens, hopefully it stays good. There's a Storm comic storyline. They're on like their 3rd issue. I've been following that too. Then I just picked up some random first issues because I like the covers. I haven't jumped into these quite yet though.
Oh, nice.
And then other stuff I have jumped into. Oh! You guys are like this. This is the new Blade comic that just dropped.
There's a new Blade comic.
There's a new Blade comic. I thought the cover was just sick. And then there's this Moon Knight comic that came out.
Ooh.
The cover, I thought, again, just sick.
That reminds me of like the 90s comics where everything was a special edition and everything was holographic and foil.
Right, exactly. So you got this matte finish comic with these foil accents.
Let's go.
I haven't jumped into that, but I'm dying to jump into that one. And then I did start diving into this guy. Berserk Season 2 has dropped.
Oh, I need to jump back into that.
Boom
Yeah.
Studios is killing it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's unfortunate with all the strikes that are still going on. Now we're in the actor strike, the writer strike's going on, and all that really means is we are not getting that Netflix Berserk series starring Keanu that we've been promised. And you can thank the strikes for that being postponed.
Wait, is it canceled or just postponed?
Well, if something's postponed for too long, it eventually gets canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And when actors start aging out because they're supposed to be playing immortal characters, it gets odd.
Hugh Jackman's been playing Wolverine for 15 years.
True. Picked up this Peach Momoko comic.
Oh, it's the end of the Venomverse, right?
Yeah.
Yo, and what's cool about this one is the story's pretty good, but she does the art not just for the cover, but she does the art for the comic. And so I would if you like Momoko, dude, every page is just iconically cool. She's so good. And then the last comic I picked up I've been reading is Every Now and Again, and I'm sometimes surprised, but Thor just has these great comics. Don't get me started on the Gore comic. That's an example of, man, that thing was so good. What happened to the movie? Anyways, nothing against any of the actors in it. I picked up this Thor comic. And what's cool about this one, little spoiler alert, fun thing with Mjolnir, who's been destroyed for the longest time, he is reforged together in this comic.
That's a pretty big spoiler, I have to imagine. I guess he's on the cover of the comic. So.
Oh, yeah! Well, so we got some posts in the feed. Creed, there's a Creed comic book that just dropped too, and it looks sick. It's following the daughter's storyline.
I think that's Boom Studios.
It is. Brent, yeah, check out, if you read comics, Brent, check out the Creed comic that just dropped. It's pretty good.
Boom Studios.
I flipped through it and I was shocked that it was a comic because the story was so good. I'm like, this needs to be an Amazon Prime series because I think Michael B has a deal with them. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but let's go back to Deal or No Deal.
There's no one's doing
strike
nothing.
Time, man.
Yeah,
ain't nobody doing anything. How about you, Lawrence? Man, what have you been up to this week?
Man, I've been watching stuff. First of all, that My Adventures with Superman is amazing. It's amazing. It's so charming. And I'm not going to spoil nothing, Jack. You probably aren't caught up, but I do want to spoil it, but I won't spoil it. But I do want to spoil it, but I won't spoil it. won't
I'll tell you
spoil
what
it.
I'll tell you. You spoil this. Superman versus Doomsday in the.
No, I'm not caught up on that. I'm not caught up on that now. I'm not caught up on Superman and
Okay,
Lois. I
all
know
right.
what you're talking about.
Because
And
what?
I know Superman and Lois is doing the Lord's work over there.
I
They're
mean,
killing it.
All right, you're talking about the cartoon though. Go ahead.
But yeah, bite size. It's just so charming and so good and so faithful to the character of Superman. I watched they clone Tyrone.
Oh,
Banger.
I saw that.
Banger.
Really?
Banger. Yes,
Really?
Chris, that's a banger. It's brilliant.
I thought it didn't make much. I didn't make much sense to me.
Go back and watch it. Go back and watch. I think it's on that.
Wait,
It's,
Chris, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I've watched everything. I have
Did you
watched
watch
everything.
Oppenheimer?
No, Sebastian wants to see it, but I found out there's nudity in it. So
Full?
yeah,
Wait,
Florence Pugh. So
wait.
you can't see it.
Sebastian's not gonna want to sit through a 3-hour movie about the guy. It's not.
In
It's not.
his head, because we've been seeing so many movies lately, and Oppenheimer's in every single trailer.
Yeah, man.
In his
And
mind,
like-
he thinks it's an action adventure.
He's like, I want to see them build the bomb. I want to see Oppenheimer. I do not want to see Barbie. Barbie's a girl's movie. I want to see Oppenheimer.
Okay, he ain't gonna make 3.5 hours of
he
just
might.
dialogue.
Listen, man, he might.
I don't know.
I heard
Maybe.
I heard it's great.
I heard it's
I heard
amazing.
it's brilliant. I heard it's brilliant. But I didn't watch that this week, Chris.
Oh, right.
What I watched is that Tyrone joint. It's like if you got Jordan Peele, Donna Glover, and Quentin Tarantino, and they sat down and made a movie together. It is like,
How's that go wrong?
it doesn't go wrong. Chris is just tripping.
No, I said that there's this. I think that may be a topic of discussion for us in the future because there's a lot to unpack in this movie.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to promote Netflix too hard because they can go sucking until they start paying people.
Whoa!
Anyways, I picked Jack. This comic you might have to pick up, dude. It's the Black Label, so it's a self-contained story.
I
The
only do
last
gold label.
days.
Or white labels.
See what you started, Chris?
Yeah.
I'm
The
sorry.
last days of Lex Luthor, man. So pretty much Lex Luthor is dying. I think it's from radiation poisoning over being around kryptonite for so long. And
Great.
Superman has a choice to help save him or not. And of course, because he's Superman, he's going to help him. And since it's Black Label, like it's a self-contained story, so it doesn't have to. It's not in continuity. Lex Luthor can die in this. Superman can die in this. It's its own thing. And Mark Waid wrote it. It looks pretty freaking.
The
cover looks
the cover
great.
looks fantastic.
They have like
got-
3 different covers for this.
I struggle with comic books that are oversized. I just don't know where to put them. I'm serious. It's a real conundrum for me. I have thousands of comics, and it's like the Ninja Turtle comic that came out, Last
Mhm.
Ronin.
Yeah.
It's oversized. I got some Batman comics that are oversized, and I never know what to do with them.
Buy these on digital then. Buy the oversized on digital. Screw your local comic book store because you can't find a shelf to put them on.
You know what's
Buy
funny
it in
about my
digital.
local comic book store? So, not to debo your slot. I know you're still
I
going.
mean, my slot's been debowed.
I mean, it's like nothing but debo since you started it. But so every time I get there, my buddy Paxton, who works at the Krusty Bunker, Chris loves
Best
his
name
his
ever.
name, Krusty Bunker.
Best name ever.
I would say, Paxton, what's out this week that I have to be reading? And the problem with the Krusty Bunker is the employees are not allowed to read the comics on the shelf.
Oh, really?
So
Why?
They can't get.
So he reads the digital versions,
Oh,
but the digital version is always a week late. So I'm the one who ends up telling him what he's got to be catching up on.
that's weird because sometimes you'll have like staff picks.
Yeah.
in-
Yes,
in stores.
but staff picks are almost never what's dropping that week.
Huh? That's whack.
I mean, go look at your staff picks.
That's
It's
true.
always
Staff
like-
picks are always the staff pick. That's what got me to American Gods. American Gods has been out for a minute. Yeah,
Maybe staff pick is just one big conspiracy to get you to buy stuff that's not selling.
that's not selling. It's not
It's just slap staff pick on it. And I finished Secret Invasion.
Oh,
I have
Womp,
not.
womp, womp.
And I was
Oh.
supposed to be the one that's supposed to watch it, and I have not watched it since we spoke about it.
It is just. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's
But-
not.
It's not
It's like flat soda. Like it's still sweet. It still carries the flavor. There's just no pop.
no.
There's
You
just
can't do
nothing
flat
to it.
soda, and warm flat soda
This is warm flat soda. It's not sour milk. But
Right.
it's warm flat soda.
You'd
And
almost rather sour milk because
no,
you know what you're
no,
getting involved in.
that is true. This was bottled up like it was going to be a nice, refreshing wine.
Drink, and then when you open it up, there was no.
It was nothing. So that was a letdown. And spoilers, who cares? Like, Rhodey is, of course, the Skrull. We all knew that. We talked about that last time. And the only way this works is if Skrulls have been impersonating the people you care about. And he was just supposed to make up for all the other superheroes.
Yeah,
in the
but what doesn't
MCU.
work with that Rhodey thing, and not that we're talking about Secret Invasion, and I didn't even finish the content, but I did see some posts about that. He's literally bleeding red blood in half of the films, and he's bleeding in Endgame, and we know this.
Oh, we're gonna get to that in the news. But yeah, when did he become a Skrull? The show doesn't say, but the
Blip?
director kind of says.
If it's not the blip, what is it?
Well, it has to be.
And if
after
it was
blip.
the blip, why didn't the original blip back?
Well, no, not even that. It couldn't even have been the blip, because if you watch this content and they go watch him in Captain America Falcon Winter Soldier, he has a completely different personality talking to Sam.
You know when it actually happened? It actually happened in Iron Man 2.
Yep.
And the Skrull got the whole face wrong.
I can tell. I'm like, no one else can tell this ain't, bro. Okay, fine.
Yo.
Anyways, Chris.
Yo.
I got a question for you, man.
What's that, Lawrence?
I got a question for you. What would you call the Fantastic Four if Snoop Dogg joined the team?
What would you call the Fantastic Four if Snoop Dogg joined the team?
The High Five. Jack laughed. Jack. For those just joining us on this YouTube stream, we've been doing this podcast for 2 years, and Jack, I've never heard Jack laugh before the punchline.
I want to know if Rich would have laughed at that, and I think he might have.
No, Rich is just angry at all the jokes. Rich just hates jokes and happiness.
Rich just hates me.
Funny, though.
If Jack gave a joke, Rich will smirk. I think he hates on me and you, Chris. He doesn't like the joy we have. What else do we have here? Yo, we don't even need to redeem that segment because it was freaking dope. But we're gonna go down the street, make a left at the stop sign, fly through the do not enter sign, and we'll be at the collector's corner.
It's show and tell time.
Here at the collector's corner, we take something out of our toy chest, something off our comic book shelf, something out of our video game case, and we showcase it to the world. It could be worth millions of dollars or just sentimental. What do you guys got?
I'll go first since I'm here. So on my trip, I like to go to different. I'm getting old. I like to go to different Targets and different Walmarts when I'm out of town to see what toys there are.
No, that's not old. If you say you just like to go them because you just like my sister, she likes going through like the home goods sections. I'd be like,
I don't buy anything that benefits my family. I just buy only things that benefit ME.
You're not old. You're not old at all.
Yeah. So I got this. I got the Batman Wayne Manor Library. McFarlane.
You know, every time you buy one of these,
you bought a diorama?
I buy one of those. It's a problem. Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, what the plan is
Mike down.
Is I might mount this on the wall above my bat cave, so then it can simulate these guys sliding down the pole into the bat cave, because I do have the bat cave already set up, just like that. Exactly, just like
above
that.
It.
So here's my bat cave right there. So
why do we have the same room, Chris?
I know we do have the same room. We do. Lawrence buys something, and I buy something. We see it, and we both buy it. So
now I'm on board for that when they give me a Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson figure.
Yeah,
I'm on board for that, but they have to give us a Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson figure. It's the only thing. They have the study, and the polls is dope, but like you got to give us the figures to be in the study, and you can put Batman and Robin on the pole.
Now they do have a Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne figure.
We can't put him in the 66 cent Jack.
And you know what the best part of this thing was? On clearance, $17.
Well,
I
this is
kinda
on
had-
clearance already. It's fairly new.
Well, it's on clearance, so I had to buy it.
Oh God. Now
I
gotta
guess I
buy
can't
it.
say anything about it. I mean, I've got a Metropolis diorama back here with the Doomsday fight, but I have been building it myself.
Well,
Why build it yourself? You can just buy one for
not all of us are
$17.
professionals, Jack.
Yeah.
Not all of us make movie quality props, Jack. Have you seen my painting? my painting is just making it. I'm gonna build a diorama. Nah, not today, bro.
I'll go next. So today I'm showing off a comic book. This one is an oldie but a goodie. It's The Jack of Hearts.
Wait, hold on 1 second. 1 second. I messed this whole segment up. Chris, show your thing one more time so that people can see it. I'm sorry, Jack. I was so caught up in the love affair of these toys, I forgot to do my job and make sure people can see these things.
Well,
Thank you, Chris, for showing your thing.
You're welcome. I'll always show my thing whenever you need it.
Oh my God! All right,
Wow.
Jackie boy.
I am interested in seeing that set on top of your Batcave set,
Yeah.
but I think you will have to put a poll going from one to the other.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. So what I'm showing today is the Jack of Hearts. This is a Marvel character that dropped in 1984. This is number 1. I remember reading this comic when I was a kid.
No, you don't. You never heard of that guy. You've never
Yeah.
heard of that guy. I've never
I'll
heard of
pull
that person in my life. Chris, have you heard of Jack of Hearts?
Never heard of Jack of Hearts.
Well, your name's not Jack, so content with your name doesn't find its way to you. So I have some original comics of this guy. I didn't have this one. I picked this one up. And I got it for a steal. I got it for like $30, which isn't a massive come up. It's only valued at about 60. It's a 9.4, so it's only it's only about $70. So I still got it for a steal. But it's such a weird kind of retro character, you know? He's literally modeled after a playing card. Look at his costume.
He reminds me a little. Does he play around in Doctor Strange's world? He looks a little.
No, he's more cosmic. So this guy would be
Silver Surfer and
more like that kind of world. Silver Surfer-esque, I think.
I like it.
Huh? Cool.
I like your freaking collection, Jack. Your comic collection of all these graded comics in their freaking frames with the numbers.
How could you not? I mean, well, I tell you what I like about it is some of these retro ones are really cool. And if you're into kind of retro comics, and I very much am, what they're doing now is they're printing, and they kind of always have, but they're printing a lot of like reprint covers of classic comics, which is very cool. I want to do a display of some of these retro covers that, you know, I'm not saying I'll never have the money for it, but I'll probably never have the money for just getting an extra Action Comics #1, Detectives Comics 27, X-Men #1. So you can get all these retro covers now, and they're pretty cool just to have in the collection, even though they're not original.
Yeah, man, just what the artwork stands for. Well done, Jackie boy. Yo, I got a double feature today. I'm just going to show you everything I got. First up, McFarlane might have made the best Batman figure to ever come out. And that's this freaking Nightfall.
I'm dying for mine to come in.
That's cool.
Where'd you order yours from?
How are you getting yours weeks ahead?
Jack, I've had this for a minute. Where'd you order yours from?
Amazon, like an idiot.
Man, now sometimes Amazon sucks. Sometimes you pay for that free shipping in waiting time. I think I got this from the McFarlane store, I believe.
What's that Canada joint you've been getting from?
Okay, so for all of y'all trying to find figures and you're having a hard time, if you go to cmdstore.com, it's a store in, I think, Canada, and pretty much they have a lot of stuff in stock. You will pay shipping. It's a little more pricey, and you will pay shipping, but they don't kill you. And it's I got the Henry Cavill Superman figure in the red and blue color. Now you can't find that anywhere. There's a toy store called toyswonderland.com. It's a Japanese store. I bought that joint and it's coming in on Monday. So
Nice.
there's websites where you have people that are selling these toys for decent prices out of this country where you can't find them anywhere or you'll get destroyed on eBay. So check out cmdstore.com, figurinesforall.com, and toyswonderland.com if you're trying to find some stuff.
Also, where did you get your Superman Doomsday?
That was Target.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're on the shelf. But here's the thing. Some Targets will have, like, I went to my Target and it said it had it in stock, but I had to like let them know to go get it from the back. It's been there for days.
Someone stashed it.
Yeah, I go to them. I said, it says you have 4 of these, and then they go on the back. That happened to me with that one and some Ninja Turtles when they first dropped. The Mutant
I
Man.
gotta start doing that.
Yeah, go on the Target app, see if they're in the store, and then just see, get it out the back. They're sitting on them, or they just, you know. But this figure, this was from the McFarlane store. This is like dope. He comes with different hands. He comes with this Batarang. This is that straight up 70s, 80s, 90s Batman figure, dude. And I mean, the head sculpt is just so.
I feel like they've reused that head. They've used that head sculpt, that exact head sculpt before.
No, this is a brand new mold.
McFarlane? Yeah.
This is brand new.
The only thing I'm not in love with is how light the gray is.
The gray is super light. This is going to come up in the news. The Comic-Con exclusive joint has the right colors. The Comic-Con exclusive joint, Jack, has those colors right there.
These colors?
Yeah. That's the Comic-Con exclusive one. Has
this is the Hush Batman. That's
right. This is just, it's Nightfall, but it's really just, the 70s, 80s,
like
and 90s.
Hushfall.
Now, look at this. Now, these two together.
Oh, that's official.
Yeah,
Come on. I got this figure I was waiting for this figure.
Which head you got on that Robin?
Oh, just a regular one. I didn't switch him out. This is regular.
Lawrence be just popping heads off.
I do be popping heads off. Now, for the grand, so I got Jack, spoiled it. I got my Superman Doom versus Doomsday figures. And first up, I got this Superman right here. It's pretty much the same. It's the Hush Superman McFarlane
it looks
figure.
Like it looks.
It's the same exact figure,
except for the cape.
No, because this cape is actually from the Infected Superman. McFarlane just reused
shoot!
Yeah,
just plug and chug this
and
guy.
I don't mind him doing that, but for the 85th anniversary of Superman, Death of Superman pack, this should have been a new sculpt. You see right here where it's torn. That's just paint. It should have been sculpted battle damage, not just painted over. The head is dope, though. That's pretty dope.
That is dope.
But,
Neil Adams Batman.
Dude. Yeah, that was the Batman. But this is dope. Now, this Doomsday, honestly, I was going to pass on this figure until I saw images of the Doomsday for real. Ooh. This Doomsday is sick. Now, the thing about this Doomsday...
What about the ponytail, man? I can't get... It's so high.
Doomsday has ponytails.
Doomsday does have ponytail. I don't remember if he had it in the Death of Superman comic, but Doomsday...
I was going to say, and I don't think it was in like a bun.
Hey, man. Look at that head sculpt, dude.
He is missing the... like you talk about in the video. He's missing bones over the eyes.
You can't really see it here, but in person, it looks like his eyes are glowing.
Okay, Chris.
Wait, Chris, look. The hint. Look. His mouth opens.
Okay, this mouth opens too, though. Oh, Lawrence is gone, and he ended on a picture of Chris.
Damn, I need a Doomsday.
Yo, but I want to know which Doomsday looks better. Where's Lawrence at? Lawrence, which Doomsday looks better?
Put your Doomsday up, Lawrence.
Mine does, because mine looks like Doomsday.
This don't look like Doomsday?
Okay, real quick. This is why mine... No, yours... Okay, Jack is holding his customized Devastator. That looks brilliant, but this is why mine looks better. And I'll tell you right. Jack, real quick. Hold your Doomsday up. Chris, look at this. slide back a little bit. Slide back. All you do, grab a McFarlane Superman.
I'm grabbing a Doomsday because I feel left out, even though my Doomsday isn't as nice.
Chris, you're not even in this conversation. Okay,
He is now.
Jack.
He is
Jack,
now.
grab a McFarlane Superman figure real quick.
I wouldn't. I would grab.
Well, no,
this
but for my
Superman.
point, grab a McFarlane Superman figure real quick, just for
I got
fairness.
you. You're saying he's big.
This is why mine's better.
Okay.
Now take him off the flight stand and stand them up side by side.
I got you. They're about the same size. Your
Chris.
point has been made.
Come on, Chris.
Damn.
Chris.
Hold on.
This is a mega figure. Look at this.
Yeah, but look at the texture on this guy.
Chris, it's a mega
That
figure.
figure is
But you know what else? You know what else that Doomsday is missing?
I can blackwash this and pull out his texture, but you can't make yours bigger, baby.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Yours also
I could
isn't-
always color this in, but you can't make yours grow.
True,
baby.
true. But yours also isn't battle damaged. Look at this guy's. His stuff's all ripped up.
Mine's ripped up too.
Mine's not. I just have to. I have a whack.
Chris, you're not even in this.
Let's see
Okay,
Chris's.
I just feel
Let's see
left out.
Chris's.
let me see this thing.
I have the
This-
most
this
anemic
guy doesn't even
Doomsday. I forgot. This is like a. Who makes this Doomsday? Something like a Toy Biz Doomsday.
You know what?
Not
That
good.
actually doesn't look that bad, Chris.
better-
But he
better
does have the
than-
ponytail though.
It's better than my first one, which is my first Doomsday. 3 points of articulation.
I think. Did I give you that one? The Hunter Prey Superman.
Yeah.
Yes,
And oh man,
Damn, Lawrence.
Jack.
Jack's heartfelt gift.
I know. Jack, come on. This Doomsday is sick. The head sculpt is sick.
All right.
I mean, come
So
on.
we'll let the fans decide. And Brent has spoken. Jack's matches the comics better.
No, wait, no. Let me see yours. Yours does not match the bring yours back, Brent. You're lying.
Let's move
Wait,
this on.
wait,
This
yours,
segment-
yours are the Batman ears on the side because it's really the Devastator.
I cut the
figure.
ears off.
You ain't put on the.
I cut some off.
Let's just move on before I get high blood pressure.
Yeah.
But well done, gentlemen. Well freaking done. I don't like it this way. I don't like it that way. Okay, hey, look, we're gonna go in this alley, baby. We're gonna go in this alley
How are we going to the alley without Rich?
because I watch anime too, Jack.
You better keep this brief.
It will be very brief.
Let's talk
So
about Dragon Ball Z.
no, we're not gonna talk
It's
about.
time for
Dragon
Anime
Ball.
Alley without Richard Wilson.
Richard Wilson. Just real quick, I've been catching up, and I'm caught up on Hell's Paradise, and I'm just co-signing with Mr. Wilson here. That thing is a must freaking watch. What are you doing with your life? Come on now. It is freaking dope. Highly recommend it. It's horror, it's supernatural. Chris, there's a lot of over sexualization with cartoon characters. We know you love that.
Oh, I love that. I can actually love anime.
It's amazing. And also I co-sign on the that zombie joint he was talking about on Netflix, the zombie bucket list show. That is remarkably brilliant. So Rich is right. Definitely about those two most recent things. Catch that zombie bucket list show on Netflix, but screw Netflix until they pay their freaking right. Matter of fact, don't watch it. Watch Hell's Paradise on Crunchyroll instead. I highly recommend it. And now it's time for some news.
It's time for the news.
Let's just jump into the bad news first. So, with the pending writers and actors strike, Kraven the Hunter is moved back a year, and Spider-Man Across
It wasn't
beyond.
shot.
You still got to do reshoots. You still got to do ADR. You still got to do stuff.
The posters are up in the theaters already.
You still probably got to put some finishing touches and
What
beyond
was the
this.
last? Oh, it was the Christopher Nolan joint that kept changing. Remember, what was the one after Interstellar, but before this one?
Oh,
There's
the
a lot.
one with John David Washington.
Yes,
The Tenet.
Tenet changed because of COVID dropped around that time. Tenet just kept shifting until it disappeared.
Oh, Jack, you can't say that word. That hurts our algorithm. The C word.
What? Shifting?
No.
Disappeared?
Yes, shifting.
Tenet?
No. The the global crisis we were in. You're not allowed to say that word.
Really?
Really?
Apparently, every time I see YouTubers, they avoid that word. They say
Oh,
something.
probably because of all the misinformation.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, maybe this is also misinformation, in which case I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that thing affected tennis drop time and it changed a dozen times.
Absolutely. But this is where it gets sad. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is delayed indefinitely.
Part 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, what about the second Mission Impossible movie?
If it's not already shot,
Of course it's not already shot.
then indefinitely.
Wow.
Now, what's hurts about Beyond the Spider-Verse is all the animation's probably done. Is that they can't bring in the actors to finish their voice work.
Wow.
So pay them. Let's end this strike, because right now we have things being delayed, things being pushed indefinitely, and like Jack said, indefinitely eventually becomes never. If it not with Spider-Man, that's $1 billion entity, but other shows and things.
Yeah.
You might not see 'em.
Sometimes it does just get easier to let things go than to keep kind of holding on. You know what trailer does look good, like it is going to come out, is the One Piece trailer. They dropped the full trailer a little while ago. Did you watch the full trailer?
I saw images. I saw Luffy pull his cheek, and I was like,
Okay, but you didn't watch the trailer, and you don't know the content.
I don't know the content.
You
So
see
I'm
on
just gonna have
Fox
to,
Kids in the afternoon.
I'm just gonna have to jump in.
Even I've watched One Piece.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely watch this content.
Okay, Jack.
At
We
least
will. I
episode.
will, because we have to. But yeah, I'm the one who's knows nothing, so it'll be interesting to see like how it lands on me. I have no anything towards it, no good or bad.
Like I said before, if they capture the heart of the content, then it'll be good. If they don't manage to capture that, then it won't be.
And if they capture the heart of the content and people love it, Netflix, get off your A's, pay your writers and actors so you can come out with a season 2 in the next 10 years.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Donald Glover is teaming up with his brother to write Disney's Lando TV series. So
But he's not doing it anytime soon.
He's not doing it anytime soon. But there is a deal for him to do it. Yo, Nicki Minaj is coming to Call of Duty Season 5 along with Snoop Dogg.
For what?
I don't know, but
it's true. I saw it. I saw her. The pink.
They're tearing some stuff up.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love that. Why the heck not, man? Yo, Barbie has set box office records, surpassing The Dark Knight and Aquaman. This thing has come out and killed it. Greta Gerwig is like the highest grossing female director, like opening weekend of all time. And whatever your political, whatever it is, this is not a male versus woman situation.
It was a funny movie. It was funny. It's
Oppenheimer and Barbie brought people back to the theaters when these superhero movies couldn't.
So did,
except for Spider-Man. Maverick. Yeah, but that was like a year and a half ago.
You're right, Jack.
You're right. That was a year and a half. We're past that.
Lawrence, we ain't past it till you've seen it. And you ain't seen it, so we ain't past
it. Where's Rich? Yo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is getting a sequel and a Paramount Plus series.
But not anytime soon.
Well, actually, that's not. If your actors are non-union, animation is not WGA.
You still need a script.
It's not WGA. If you write for cartoons or animation, you're not in the union. Here's a little sad story for those who want to hear it. Way back in the day, I guess this is like old school Disney time, those writers of those cartoons wanted to be in the union. They were kind of told, you shouldn't join the WGA. You know what? We're going to just put you guys within the crew union, and you guys are all going to be a union together, and we'll watch after you. Horrible choice. Basically, those writers who write cartoons are now in a union, and there's so little of them, they can't advocate for their rights, and they're not allowed to join the WGA.
Why can't they join it?
Because what their work isn't covered by it. They can join it, but animation is not covered under WGA. So basically, the people who write cartoons do not see residuals off of what they write. We're talking about Toy Story, The Lion King. Wow. Now, certain studios can make a deal with those writers. Just, I want to just give you some off the back end, and But as far as like union rules, they got pretty screwed out of being a part of the only union that they could like have enough power to unify. So this might come out.
That's news to me.
If they get non-union actors to voice these turtles, this can come out.
Look at the cast of the last one, though. It's ridiculous.
That is true. This is probably going to wait a little while.
Yeah.
Futurama is coming to Fortnite. But what's
That is
even funnier is Ryan Reynolds is rebooting Biker Mice from Mars. This is going to be
word?
a Biker Mice from Mars cartoon. It's going to be a cartoon, I believe. And he's going to be part of the production. He's going to produce it with his production company. So,
did you guys watch that?
Back in the day, yeah.
I think I have some of the original toys of that.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage talked about how he felt about seeing himself in The Flash. And he said, he says he's glad he didn't blink because it was very quick. But he said, for me, it was the feeling of it being actualized. Even that look for that particular character, to finally see it on screen was satisfying. He also said that if you really want to know what I was going to do with the character, look at my performance in City of Angels. I was supposed to play Clark Kent after that, and I was already developing this alien otherness playing this angel. That is a perfect example of the tonality you would have gotten for Kal-El and for Clark Kent. Clark would have been more amusing, but Kal-El had the sensitivity and the goodness and the vulnerability and all those feelings that were kind of angelic and also terrifying. So I think Nick Cage Superman would have killed, especially like for that Tim Burton like early 90s time where we can just have Batman blowing up people with bombs. Like that would have worked.
For the time.
For the time.
And keep in mind he was fighting a giant spider. So
that's Cage at his cagiest though, right there.
Dude.
But Cage at his cagiest is pretty cagey.
It is.
He's going to cage all over everyone.
You know, Nicholas, so he's actually in the comics now.
They showed him love, man.
Nick Cage Superman is in the comics, and he's got an N on his chest, but he's in, he's
I wish I didn't read it, but I hope he's like playing Nick Cage. Like he's still Nick Cage, and he decided.
Why would he have an N? I haven't read the comic, but I've seen the picture. But it's not like he's got an S on his chest with Nick's face. He's got an N on his chest in Superman's costume.
The Boys spinoff Gen Z is going to premiere September 29th, so we're still going to get some good new content and that's pretty much their Xavier's school for the gifted youngsters, except they're probably insane teenagers hormonally running around. The Flash, as you know, bombed in the box office, but is number one digital. It's actually cleaning up digitally.
It's already dropped.
Yeah, it's dropped a week ago.
It dropped a week ago, and it's been number one. So I feel like the Flash.
Because nobody saw it in the theaters.
But I think that's the thing. People didn't go for whatever reason. So they all planned on seeing the Flash.
Doesn't that defeat Max's whole point?
It's not on Max. It's not streaming. It's not streaming on a subscription platform yet. It's like buy video on demand, and it's number one.
Can you not rent videos on HBO?
No.
Oh.
So this might be on some Constantine cult following, make all its money back after the fact tip.
And then
everybody who boycotted for whatever reason, y'all still want to see Michael Keaton as Batman. Stop playing.
But no one boycotted because of Michael Keaton, though. Let's be fair.
Right, but people not wanting to see Michael Keaton wasn't strong enough.
But anyone who wasn't an 80s, 90s baby wasn't going to see the movie because Michael Keaton was in it.
Fair enough. And we're old. There's a lot of generation after us. Hey, real quick, Chris, I want to share my screen with you guys because there was some news from Comic-Con. Not a whole lot of news, but some news.
Comic-Con is back to the comics. That's what they were saying.
Well, they said it was a great time because, the movies and stuff weren't there, so you actually can just walk the floors, and it was about comics and toys. So I have some toy news I want to share with you guys. I'm gonna share my screen.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know.
We see entirely too much information.
Oh boy!
Moving your screen.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So first up, man, y'all see this cat's lair?
Woo! Is that the HasLab?
That is the
Thundercats, baby.
Yes, that is the HasLab. Now, what was great about this thing is it is huge. That's a 7-inch Lion-O standing next to this cat's lair.
Wow.
This thing is
That's almost
3
4
feet
feet
tall.
tall.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
it's
is
3 feet tall. It's 3 feet tall,
and almost 2.5 feet wide.
two and a
it's
half feet wide.
pricey. I think it's like $400 maybe. And
Yeah,
like,
that's a
who
point.
has the space? But it's
Yeah.
a HasLab, so you know it has to be funded for people to get theirs.
I'm guessing this isn't for children.
Man, maybe if you like freaking, them Kardashian kids, this is nothing. This is like your room's the size of a gymnasium. You can rock with this.
That's true. It hadn't occurred to me that there's a pretty big disparity in this country. Anyway.
And we also got some X-Men 97 action figures.
Yo!
They X-Men 97 toys already hit the shelves in my Walmart here.
Wow,
Wolverine mask, Wolverine claws, branded X-Men 97.
Dude, and what's cool is we're getting to see some of the so Rogue has a green jacket on, and Storm is back to her mohawk, because this takes place maybe 5 years later from the original series.
But she's in her original series costume.
Yeah, just different.
She's not in her mohawk costume.
Magneto looks great.
Right, Magneto looks dope. What else do we have?
Like retro figures with modern articulation.
Well, I think that's what they're calling back to, is like that Toy Biz, almost like that Toy Biz run back in the day. That kind of blister pack.
Toy Biz toys were the best, man.
They were the best.
I have so many, Chris.
Yo,
yeah.
Mondo, if y'all collecting these Mondo figures, they're dropping their Prince Adam, and this looks dope.
Does it?
Shut up, Jet.
Why is he in a soft purple diaper?
It's a loincloth.
Whatever, man.
Yo, we're getting some turtles, though.
Ooh.
That's sick.
Now,
is that from Turtles 3, Turtles in Time?
The worst freaking movie, but these figures look amazing.
And they had no motion in the faces.
Right. But how good do these figures look?
They look the figures look better than they looked in the movie.
Now look at this joint. Kino.
Oh,
dude.
In my dreams, I'll dream of something thinner.
Yes. Yo, I loved Kino so much as a kid. This is going to cost you $100, but with it, you get a bunch of accessories, as you see on the bottom. But I loved Kino, man. And then we're getting into McFarlane right here, okay? McFarlane is dropping these
my goodness
figure movie pack. We
goodness.
got Clooney, we got Kilmer, we got Keaton, we got Pattinson, we got Bale, we got Affleck. We're getting
girls.
We're getting
how much is this 6-figure pack?
This pack is gonna go for about $140.
That's about $20 a pop.
McFarlane's pretty fair when it comes to his prices. These already went up for pre-order and are sold out. If you ask me, did I already get mine? Yes, I did. It's pre-ordered. It'll be on the way.
Don't you have half the figures already?
Shut up, Jack!
Hey.
I do. I actually have Pattinson, Bale, and Affleck already. But I don't have 89 Keaton. And you got to get the Kilmer and Clooney figures. I mean, look at this. And what's really cool is, this is really small. My family's.
What is going on?
I'm getting phone calls here.
Don't they know I'm in the middle of a podcast?
Don't they know I'm in a podcast? So you got this Bale figure on YouTube. You got this, not this figure. It's not what I want to show. A little bigger. Sorry, it's so small. That's what she said. No, she didn't. Look, it's pixelated, but each figure comes with its own bat that you can put in the bat signal.
Oh man!
So,
that's quite
cool. So you can display it accordingly. Does it
come with bat signal or no?
Yeah, it comes with
each
a working.
Figure comes with a bat signal.
No, it comes with one bat signal that's a working light, and they come with each bat to plug into it, depending on which figure you have, because all their bats are different. And then we got some G.I. Joe right here. Don't know who this guy is.
Stop with the classified. Just give me.
You don't like classified, Chris? You're a G.I. Joe guy.
No, give me 3 3/4, man.
Man, and then of course here it's a little small, but we got some Marvel Legends coming out. Some of these hit the shelves already. You're getting a Peter Parker from the animated series, Blade. You're getting Luke Cage. You're getting
Daredevil.
Yeah, some kind of Iron Man.
Bottom right.
Clayface. No. And real quick, McFarlane dropped this. Yo, he's also coming up with a Batman and Robin wave. You're getting Clooney, you're getting Chris O'Donnell, you're getting Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I need that Mr. Freeze.
Yo, it's kind of, I love it because he's kind of like being ridiculous with it. He's being ridiculous with it. But yeah, man. That's the news.
And that was the news. I've been thinking about getting that the Pattinson Batman, not because I want the Pattinson Batman, but because it's very close to Guts's Berserker armor, and I was thinking I could modify it into being a Berserker armor Guts.
Sacrilege.
You're ridiculous. Just buy Berserk. Just buy Guts. He's like $100. It's an HA's figure arts, but it's fine.
That particular figure is like $250.
Oh dang! Well, you know,
and it's $30 for the Pattinson. Less.
No, it's $20. I think I have a Pattinson over here somewhere.
It's probably still about 20. You probably still find it for like retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not giving you my extra one, so
I don't know that's where that conversation was
going. I'm gonna
going.
have two, and it's gonna especially now what you're gonna do with it. Heck no. But Chris, stop laughing, man.
Fine.
Jack, cut the crap. It's time for a debate.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Or reverse debate. For those watching us on YouTube, which would be whoever's dropping in, we usually have debates. Stop. They don't know how many when they watch it back. We do debates here. And this time, Chris has a reverse debate. Here we go. Since we're reviewing Atom Eve and her origin story, what character getting their own 1 hour treatment would be a disaster? We made fun of the fact that Jack's favorite character is Jimmy Olsen, and he would love to see a Jimmy Olsen movie without like Superman. So it's like just watching him go to work and
sorry. Hang on. For clarity's sake, Leonardo in a standalone Jimmy film would be Academy Award winning.
It would be.
It would be something.
What would be the worst to most boring series? That wins the debate. Who can give us the worst series?
I definitely win.
No, I win.
I don't know. I got some pretty boring stuff here.
Okay, go ahead. Who has the worst idea?
Jack, you go first. You seem confident.
Right. I had two.
I'm gonna poke holes in it. I'm poking.
I had two brilliant ideas. One was Matter Eater Lad. Matter Eater Lad is a comic book character who was created by same guy created Superman, Jerry Siegel, and he's from a planet called Bismal. But they was running out of food, and there was a microorganism. Long story short, this guy can eat anything, anything. He's got really strong teeth, and his digestive enzymes. His power sets include superhuman digestion.
Sounds great.
Digestive enzymes, and a really high metabolism.
So he's a mad lean guy.
Yeah. But then I had stumbled across someone who was even better than matter-eating lad. Hard to believe. This character's name is Stone Boy. Stone Boy has the ability to turn into a rock. Unfortunately, when he turns into a rock, he both loses the ability to move and he falls asleep. So often what would happen is his teammates would just throw him at the villains or use him as a distraction.
I have to say, Jack lost the debate.
Come on, that character is
Chris's question isn't what would be the worst. He also said what would be the boringest.
It was so boring.
No, the origin stories of those actually could be freaking Peacemaker funny.
No. Now I put my my content together. So Stone Boy, you would watch the whole thing.
No, he's giving the brief synopsis. Go ahead. Give the brief synopsis.
Right. You'd watch the whole content from his point of view, not his team's point of view. So when he turned into stone and fell asleep or didn't move, you would just stay there.
It would just be black.
You're just doing nothing the whole time. And that is dirt boring content. Okay.
All right.
Wait, who is Stone Boy? I need to look to see if this is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Stone Boy.
Stone Boy.
Is it a movie?
No. No, he's a comic book character. He's so ridiculously dirt boring, he's never moved off of a page of a comic.
Hold on.
It's all right, Lawrence. I crushed this debate. I probably shouldn't have gone for it.
I'm just looking this up. Jack, Stone Boy, I think can do. Is he part of the Legion of Superheroes?
It took decades, but they've figured out through a series of hypnotism how he can stay awake when he turns to stone, but mobility's still a struggle. All right. Chris, how about you? Can you beat Stone Boy?
Okay, picture this. We open up on a huge military base. We see guys running drills. We see superheroes, Avengers coming in and coming out. And the title card is Soldiers of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we focus on one guy. So think of The Office.
Wait, so you don't have a character?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the background characters from S.H.I.E.L.D. But here's the thing. When you have a character who loves their job, like Leslie Knope, Parks and Recreation, makes for good content. You have a character who hates their job, Ron Swanson, it makes for good content.
Ron Swanson is really good at his job.
Right, but he still hates it. But what about someone who's just there for the check? It doesn't care either way. It is mediocre at best and just working his way through. It would be the most boring show.
No, that's Aubrey Plaza's character in Parks and Rec.
No. We're not talking about someone who's aloof. We're not talking about someone who completely doesn't care. We're talking about someone who just does enough, does the bare minimum to make it, and is somewhat of a team player, but is still a piker 9 to 5.
So, Chris, what I'm hearing is
you have a non-character, non-character description.
Chris, your debate said take a character.
It's a character.
No, it's not. It doesn't exist. It's not a real.
The background S.H.I.E.L.D. characters that we see.
You can't just do that.
He's right. Wait. Chris is both right and wrong. You gotta prove that there's a name. It's not like you're talking about the lead agent that.
Okay. Ken Avery. That's the name. Ken Avery.
You're making
made it up.
Nope. He's a 30-year veteran, a senior officer in the Hellcarrier.
So he's boring because
all he does is he just goes about his day doing regular.
You added that in. You added that in.
How do you know I'm not? How dare you argue facts that are made up?
Because I'm looking at a picture of Ken Avery, and he does not look like somebody who just goes and can.
What do you know about Ken Avery?
Listen, Jack, does this guy look like he just goes in for the paycheck?
Oh yeah.
This guy has a story.
What about Bradley Beamer?
Chris, you failed the assignment. You failed your own assignment.
You kind of failed your own assignment, Chris. Whatever. Lawrence, who has the same name as Chris for some reason? How did that
work? I hate when that happens. I'll let it be for now. It's a prequel story. It's an origin story.
It's already boring. And it's all shown through flashbacks.
It's all thrown through. I hate flashbacks. No, it's before the Power Rangers hit Angel Grove. We're going to follow Ernie as he runs a juice bar.
It's a struggling to get a small business loan.
And he just wants the juice.
And the season finale is when the Power Rangers finally land.
No, the series finale is when the Power Rangers finally show up.
And it's over.
And all he does is just hide under the bar.
Lawrence, you win.
Come on, Jack. He's just running the juice bar for teenagers.
Listen, if the criteria is create content that no one would ever want to watch, then sure, Lawrence, you've won. But Stone Boy.
No, because he's still seeing some crazy stuff. So it's through his point of view. You're still watching Avengers Endgame. You're just not engaging with it. You're still watching it like we did watching the movie. Can still be very entertaining.
So is Ernie's thing more like Curb
It's
Your
worse.
Enthusiasm?
It's worse. No, because Ernie isn't even funny. He's just, hey guys, you want some juice? Like, he's not even Jimmy Olsen. He's just running this juice bar where they do karate. You don't do karate.
They do karate in the middle of the lobby for some reason.
Like, he's lost the entire plot.
He has no.
He wears Hawaiian shirts all year round.
He's like, this is what's gonna set me apart. I'm gonna bring some fun to the juice bar.
Bulk and Skull come in and like terrorize the place, and he just gives them like.
Really. They don't really terrorize it though. They crack a corny joke and they hit their heads and leave.
Yeah, and every now and then Ernie will show up with some beet juice drink. Jack, in the 10 years of Power Ranger continuity before they started rebooting this series, there has been next to zero character development for Ernie. So much so he disappeared and no one even knew he disappeared. Dude, come on. Give it to me. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Now,
who got third place?
You did. Well, no, Chris did. Because Chris, anyone can win the debate if you just making up stuff. Hey, you know how the Daily Planet has like that junior division? That guy who didn't get accepted, who's still at his mom's house. What comic is that? It's somewhere in the background.
Yeah, that still works. This doesn't make sense.
No, you're just making it up.
I mean, technically, isn't it everything we talk about?
No, we talk about other people's made up stuff.
Oh. I guess.
Speaking of other people's made up stuff,
let's get to the reason why we're here.
It's time for the main event.
Yo, man, I didn't know this was coming, but it was one of those things that when it did, I was really happy to jump into this, man. I remember this in the comic books, but I was happy when I saw that we're getting a prequel in between season 1 and season 2, Atom Eve TV special, which pretty much it's a film. It's an Atom Eve origin story. I'm going to read you the synopsis, and then we'll give our spoiler-free thoughts, and then we'll do our deep dive. Let me pull this up on our trusty IMDb. Here we go. In this special prequel episode, Samantha Atom Eve Wilkins discovers her powers as a young girl and must come to terms with her own sinister origins as she discovers a family she never knew she had. What you guys think?
It gave me what we've been missing. I think Invincible is a Three Brothers and Shot of Milk favorite. Yeah. And this hit the vein of Invincible. It kind of just took Invincible, the Invincible universe, and told us a different story from a different point of view. And I loved it. I was all about it.
Mm-hmm. I think, I agree with that. I mean, it also proved what's so strong about Invincible. It's just the content. And we're not even following Mark. We're not even following Invincible. We're not following his dad or any space friends. We're following Eve, who is an important character in the comic storyline, but she's not the main character. And here we are following her story, and the content's good. So, Invincible, man. There's a reason why we all voted it number 1 the year it came out.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I remember this story in the comics, and they do some other things in the comics where you'll have an origin of a character, and characters who you think are just kind of run of the mill have this sad, complicated origin story, and they did it with Adam Eve. I keep saying Adam and Eve. Atom Eve here. I thought it was great. It hit, man. It hit. I forgot how much Invincible hits until I put this on and was like,
there it is.
Oh, because Invincible does the thing where it gives you this kind of vanilla, kind of clean superhero fun thing, and then the bodies just start hitting the floor, and you're like, oh, I forgot how crazy this gets.
So I'd go so far as after watching this, I can watch it. So there's so many characters in Invincible. So the way Invincible starts, if you haven't read Invincible, is you step into this universe where they don't do any backstory. You just have a team of superheroes, you have villains, you have this fully established universe with very little backstory. So if we were given a series where every week we'd get an origin story of one of the characters, but done like this, I mean,
Dude.
I'd be about it.
But the thing that Invincible worked on so well, and going back to the original comic, it's when Lawrence first shared the that volume 1 with me.
He
I
put me
was
onto it too.
I could not put down. I was like, "What? Let me borrow the next one." And the same is true with the series. You watch that first episode. The thing they do though that's so smart is they do just like Chris said. They jump into the middle of this content. They have an established team, but they're such stock rip-off characters. It's like, here's another. And I was honestly, Lawrence, when I first started reading Invincible, I rolled my eyes because I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, this is such a rip-off. And then what they do
And
with
then
it.
Omni-Man kills them all.
And then it
Yeah.
gets real.
It's so brilliant because what they simultaneously do two things. They introduce you into a world that instantly you're familiar with and because these characters are ripoffs. But then they spin it so hardcore, 360 degrees going the other direction, which wouldn't that just be going the same direction?
Yeah,
And it's
180
like,
degrees. We got you.
what just happened? Right?
And in some ways, this is like she's Jean Grey. She's the Jean Grey of the team. And
Sure.
if you read the comics, you really see how she is kind of like Phoenix-like powers in there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
she's probably the most powerful spoiler character in the Invincible comics. And you see it here. Let's just jump in and do the deep dive. We're in spoiler territory now, so get ready to be spoiled. I couldn't come with a better tagline.
Get ready to be spoiled.
Yo, it's gonna be a brief recap, man, because it goes pretty fast, but it goes fast. We pick up with the Guardians of the Globe in this huge fight, and it's just nice to see them again because we saw them for a glimpse before Omni-Man killed them in Invincible. So it's nice to see them work.
Mm-hmm.
And she is Wonder Woman.
Also, not very good though.
No, but that's what's beautiful because they're the Justice League, but it's not perfect, and they don't work perfectly well together, and they can be outmatched. So it's like taking DC characters but put them in like that Marvel setting where it's like you guys aren't gods here.
Yeah,
they're almost more like the boys than they are the Justice League, though.
No, they're not corrupt.
That's true. They're trying to be good. Yeah, you're right.
Good.
They just. I don't think there's a. So the Justice League is polished and overpowered and
Wins.
rah.
Like this would have been 2 seconds in the beginning of a Justice League.
Right. But these guys, they're still figuring it out. Everyone has their own egos. Everyone's trying to they're not that good.
I guess that's what I mean.
But you say not that yet. I didn't get the impression this team is new. I got the impression Omni-Man is new to helping them, but it felt like it is this difficult. Like you don't just march into a fight and it's not
right.
It's hard for them. And Omni-Man comes in. He's on the reserves list because he doesn't want to join the team. And he comes in and they make a comment about his costume, telling us in the time frame of this, he's just kind of showed himself to the world, I guess. If you follow the comic books, he was flying around in his just alien attire before he gets a costume. And all this was just smoke and mirrors, man. It was all just like that red herring because inside somewhere else, you got a doctor stealing a pregnant woman from the facility, getting her in the car. Let's get out of here because she has a super powered baby inside of her. We got to get her to a real hospital. Then we got that black dude, cold as ice. What's his face? Phil Lamar's voice, I believe. That's Phil Lamar.
He does a great voice acting.
He does everything.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff we love.
He is like, where are you? And they're in the hospital, and like she pretty much dies in the operating room. And the dude looks at the scalpel. Oh, that's where I was like, oh yeah. Invincible, they go there.
Yeah, but they didn't. They didn't show it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
Dragons.
We didn't need to. Yeah. And pretty much the doctor pulls a switcheroo, and the baby is oh, I just noticed you got comments.
A lot. I've been commenting on
Wait, are you guys seeing it on your phone or are you seeing it on this?
I can see it on this right now.
How?
These comments are all old at this point, so keep it pushing.
Oh, my bad. Right. So, hey, John, what's up? Okay, so where was I? No, we jump in here. So like, he puts the baby with a family who believe they lost their daughter, which is crazy, right? Because like in DC kind of content, the family would have known, but here, like, they think it's their daughter. Like the parents,
right? No, he told him. Yeah, it was a mistake. Your daughter didn't die. Here she is.
That is just ruthlessly cold.
Yeah. Or I mean,
no,
the lie makes everyone's life better. So
they should still mourn that baby. Like that's still a baby. Man, did it though, Chris? Did it make it? I think there's a disconnect. Eve is weird because of her powers, but I think there's also a maternal disconnect that they're having.
No, I felt the mother was connected. The father is just a jerk. So you can have
father is such a jerk,
and I don't think it has to do with her being adopted. I think
this is a problem with the content for me.
But she doesn't know she's adopted. There's a disconnect there. Even with the mother, like there's
she does have the line that explains a lot.
What's the line?
In the show, she goes, "I'm adopted." That explains a lot.
Yeah.
When did she learn that?
She found.
Oh yeah, later. Yeah.
With the dude,
so that's my point. She says that explains a lot because even before, the dad's a jerk. Period. But there is a disconnect.
I will say this. This is one of the first times watching the Invincible content where the dad is so underdeveloped, he's almost unwatchable. You know, most of their characters are great because there's a duality to their personalities. There's good and bad. They're both sides of the coin, and that's human. Except for her dad. Her dad is just conflict for the sake of conflict. He's everything wrong with good writing is her father. Like there's zero redeeming qualities to understand why he's a jerk. And
in the comics too, though.
But you don't spend a solid hour with him.
Exactly. And so he feels like, why?
So
this is somewhere where the Invincible series really dropped the ball for me because they're better than that choice.
So the way I read it was the dad was the daughter's growing up. The dad doesn't know the daughter's different. The dad doesn't know how to connect to the daughter anymore. The dad doesn't know how to.
But you never see him try either.
I think at this point he's already given up. When we're seeing she's already a teen, I think he's already given up.
Yeah, and I think he's so. By the time she's messing with the Legos, he's checked out when he's checked out like at 2 years old.
Yeah, he's just a bad dad. I mean, we see when she's getting babysat, and she's figuring out all these complex atoms and all these formulas and stuff like that. The parents, even the parents, don't care. They don't enforce anything. And the dad goes as far to say like, I don't want my daughter in a school like that or something like that. He makes some comment like that he doesn't want to support her gift.
There's a lot that could be mined there. Yeah. My headcanon went. It's like having a kid who's special needs, and eventually, you're just at your wit's end. It like you don't care that she can see complex atoms. She's still on a kindergarten reading level. Like all this stuff isn't.
But there's nothing. That's kind of what you have to extrapolate to understand his actions, which also in no way, shape, or form justify his actions.
No.
But she's also not that far removed from just being kind of normal, you know?
Yeah, but having a kid who doesn't play with other kids, having a kid who just stares out into space, like that can definitely change your experience. And if you're the kind of parent that, like, I don't want to get into like just the spiritual nature of it all, but like you're built for the kid you have. Whether you think you have it or not, that's your kid. You're built for it. So I'm always curious what happens when you adopt or you have a kid that's not that like.
I'll say this: my pop, his sister was adopted, and they had a great relationship. with each other and with their parents. And what she had said was, it's not the one who plants the seed, it's the one who nourishes the growth, you know.
But
And
what happens when you didn't know you adopted? Like
but
you're looking.
I don't think that, I don't know. And maybe we're pretty far off the content to have a debate about whether or not that's the conflict, because there are plenty of examples where adoption really works, whether
I
you know it
know,
necessarily.
but I think the point is the parents didn't know.
But you
Right.
see the connection with her mom. So
But
the problem isn't.
I don't see a connection with the mom. I see the mom
I see the mom
trying, and the
trying.
mom is sad. But there's no real
They might just not be good parents, Lawrence.
uh,
Some people are not good parents,
but
whether they're
you're right.
blood related or not. They're
But
just
I
not good
think
parents.
but I think there's a thing where
Right.
they may
These
not
are
be good
bad.
parents. These are bad parents. But
They're bad
also,
parents.
when you have a kid that you don't know is not yours, and you're just looking for the unspoken
Bond.
connection, the unspoken bond, especially
Yeah.
between a mother. She birthed her, and literally, there's probably no connection between her and that infant. That's just innately there, and you expect it to be there because you don't know you adopted a kid. Like when you adopt a kid, you go in knowing there's a certain bond you have to create. It may not just be there. Like they thought they brought their daughter home. She doesn't look like us. She doesn't sound like us. She doesn't even look to me when she's
She
hungry.
kind
Like
of does, though. The mom's
they're animated
redhead,
there.
and Adam Eve is redhead. You know, there are similarities where there's plausible deniability there, actually. And so the problem for me isn't the fact, and you lose me on the debate as to whether or not someone has to have a kid to have the connection with the kid.
No,
They're clearly bad parents.
You're missing my point. It's not that they didn't know they adopted the kid.
Right.
It's one thing when you go out of your way and you adopt and you know you're bringing this kid in. Our bond is stronger than blood. But when you think it's your blood and you're looking for the commonalities because you're unaware that this child is not your biological, and then there's just things that are not innately there, that can mess you up.
So I
The
think that was what they were trying to do. I think that they were trying to imply that because of the adoption, because of this, that bond is not there. That's why these parents, even though they were trying, I don't think they suspected she wasn't their daughter. I just think they're trying to figure out something's missing, and we can't figure out what's missing, and we can't make this connection because we.
To me, it felt like. Do you guys remember the 97 X-Men first episode? I think it's the first episode where Jubilee's parents find out that Jubilee's a mutant.
Of course.
Okay, and they have this real harsh reaction to it. That's kind of how this whole thing played out for me with her and her parents. They're not good parents. Okay, fine. But the problem for me was there was no redeeming moment for the father, and there was no real justification why they would be on such bad terms. You know? And she wasn't so out there that she wasn't still relatable. Especially you saw her connect with the babysitter and the babysitter scene, and the babysitter added new insight for the parents.
But if we sit and add insight, if you have a guy who's a bad dad already from jump, and you have a kid who makes your life harder because she's different, on jump, you're making me have to work overtime. On jump, I got to pay for a special school. Jump, I got to.
But there's also something. But there is something. I don't know that I agree with that, because their relationship with their daughter, who they believe is their daughter, started out with an almost magical moment. Their daughter was dead and came back to them.
And then they got to know her.
Okay.
That's the only way it happened.
I just think they're bad parents, and I just think they're bad parents, and they're having a hard time connect, and I think they're using that connection as their way of kind of letting the audience know that yes, she's adopted, and yes, they may not know it, but they know something's wrong. There's something missing in their relationship.
And for the mother, the manifestation is she's depressed, and for the father, the manifestation is just a bully, aggression,
anger. Yeah.
But they're both not well. The mother tries, but she's sad all the time.
Yeah, it's always 1 o'clock in that house.
So anyway, so yes, the babysitter comes over. We flash forward, the babysitter comes over, and we see that she can not only she can see atoms and complex equations, and she understands the relationships between them, and uses her Legos. And babysitter tells the parents, "Yo, your daughter's a freaking genius." It's like she doesn't even memorize the books; she just knows this stuff. And dad is like, "Yeah, junk." It's very 80s, right? just like
It's just so
on
one
the
dimensional
nose.
is the problem.
It's very one dimensional, just all junk or whatever. And she winds up going to a special school. We don't really see her in a special school,
See
but
any.
she's not a genius. That's what I thought was
No, but
interesting.
I have another question though, and they make a deal with giving her a connection with her neighbor as a friend,
Right.
just so they could later in the
They could break it.
But then that didn't serve any purpose either.
I think it created more of that isolation for her because that girl was the only girl that she could connect with. So
And she
hated
showed her powers to her.
Right. So she hated the new school because no, they weren't like real kids to her. She couldn't connect with anyone.
And she wasn't smart enough. Like her ability to see these equations doesn't make her more intelligent. She can't go into like English and the literature side of it. She's not actually super smart. She can just see these things and she understands only this. Everything else is probably a struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we have this one friend that she goes back to the regular school. She connects with this one girl. She's not alone anymore. Then finally she reveals her powers. And then when she reveals her powers, this girl freaks out. Like, look, I don't know. And maybe because we're nerds, but if one of your friends was like, yo, I have powers, your mind would be blown. It would be like that scene in Shazam where like, can you do this? Can you do this? What else can you do?
But here's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
The friend needed a reason, and they didn't give it to us again. Invincible dropped the ball. For me, the friend listen, when the energy thing was flying around the treehouse, if the friend caught on fire and she was scared, but nothing happened to her.
But it doesn't matter.
But still, come on, Jack.
Jack, the girl made this. She manifested this power. The girl saw it. The girl's freaking out. You see her freaking out.
Nope. You got to take it one step further. If the
you don't. Why? Have you seen someone manifest something out of thin air in front of you? Like, why you got to take it further?
It doesn't change the person.
Jack. Yes, it does.
All right, keep it pushing.
if you took off and started flying, you best believe a relationship is different. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna be scared like
you'd
her.
be like piggyback ride. Let me
right?
go.
But in the world, in a world in which there's superpowered beings, maybe they're taught to be afraid.
You know what though, Lawrence? That point kind of undoes this girl being so.
It does because they're in a world with superpowers.
Yes, and every time there's superpowered beings, cities fall and collapse.
Which is also why I was really confused by the parents putting her in a special school. I'm thinking, is this a Charles Xavier setting?
No, it's like it's just for intellect.
Yeah,
they don't know she has powers. They just know that she understands
chemistry,
covalent
bonds and stuff.
Yeah, her friend freaked out, but guess what? For everyone that would geek out like us, there has to be someone on the opposite end.
That's true,
right? So she's like, "Get away from me! You're weird." And then you have like the lonely waiting on the lonely bus on the street, like you get sitting there looking at your friend from across the street, whatever.
But not even across the street. She was literally sitting right here.
And then she gets kicked out of the school because she's actually not that smart to keep up with her other classes, nor is she interested. And then, why did she become a superhero again?
She has the need to make things better. She wants to make things better.
But why?
Because she's a good person.
Yeah, and then I think
now I need something.
I think it was just her pushing as to what she can do, and of course, whenever the first time you push your powers, there has to be a person after. No matter what neighborhood you live in, there has to be.
Always.
Consider this. Remember when Lex Luthor had Superman's powers for a little bit, and he saw his whole interaction with the world changed because he saw literally the molecules that make life and the connection between all of us.
Right.
Well, Eve is going through her whole life.
But she's always had powers. Why did she become a superhero today?
But if you look at she was never on the other path. You know, she was always on
That's
the
why I like
spectrum.
Alex. That's why I like Alex Mack. She has powers, but she didn't one day say I'm gonna go save the town. She's like, I have these powers, and I go to school, and I live my life, and every now and then crap goes down.
Lawrence. You and
But
I
her
didn't have
powers.
powers, and we were going to be we were superheroes.
Listen,
Well, hold
we
up.
gave them up. Yeah, you're right. It would have been different if I got them.
Right?
Hang on.
Exactly.
The second her powers started manifesting, she was reading the science book and turned the book to glass.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Almost instantly following that event, she started putting her powers towards how do I use these, understanding and learning her powers, and two, how do I go do stuff with the powers.
But I guess my question is, like Chris said, we want to be superheroes growing up. So if me and Chris got powers, you'd be able to backtrack us wanting to help people from way before they manifested. Because in our nature, Clark Kent,
Okay.
in his
Yeah.
nature,
All
Peter
right.
Parker, not in his nature, his uncle has to die.
Listen, I agree with you. And that is the problem with this content specifically for me, is there's a lot of things where, unlike the series, I'm just not seeing the seeds planted, so they play out in a way where it's gratifying. The father has a reason for being a jerk. There's a disconnect with the parents. The friend plays out where it matters. She's born into needing to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not seeing the seeds planted. I'm seeing the result of a lot of things, and I have to take them as givens.
Right.
You know, the given.
Where in the comic book, you let a lot of this slide because it's like 6 pages within the graphic novel. It's not like this standalone in between thing.
Right. It's
much.
like I had no reason to really justify, spoiler alert, at the end where she turns into the Dark Phoenix and has ultimate power and she's programmed with a failsafe where she can't recondition organic matter.
Yeah.
Okay, but then when she goes into the supreme being and she can rearrange organic matter, I don't understand why she doesn't. Like, I wasn't conditioned to understand that she has such a moral code that these people who killed her family, murdered her mother, lied to her, gave her all the misery that life has to offer, in this moment of completely losing herself to the power, she still made the decision to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why she would make that sacrifice.
I guess we don't really get to know who she is as a person. We see
And
the event.
for an origin story, that might be a shortcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, anyone who isn't like Clark Kent or Peter Parker, I watch you just kill my biological mother. My sort of siblings, you sent them after me and they all died. You ruined my life.
And a great scene, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. You put me
dope.
with parents who don't love me, who don't get me, and how could they? Like, why didn't she just turn them into like pudding?
Right. And that was another thing. At the end of the content, she's looking at the photo of her and her two not actual parents that she comes to realize are not her parents. And she changes the photo to be a representation of the family she might have had with her mom and the other. But that was also a lie, because that wasn't her mom. Her mom was a druggie on the street.
But she didn't know that. The guy told her that he fabricated a story about her mother. So he kind of
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You're right. She wasn't privy to the actual information, but she manipulated the images of her brother and of the doctor to
she
fit
created
this
the family she wanted. Yeah.
Right, which also doesn't make sense, because then the next thing she does is she goes and hugs her mom.
No, that made sense to me on an emotional level. It was like you fabricated this kind of family that you wish you had.
But here's the truth.
But then you appreciate what you actually have.
No, I didn't even take it appreciate. This is just all you got.
Yeah.
This is the best you can get.
Yeah. And the other thing that's true is, knowing where the content goes after she meets Mark, she's still living with her parents, who she now is privy to the fact that they're not her parents.
Right. And they're privy to the fact that I think
they're not
yet. Later in the comics, and it doesn't, spoiler alert, it doesn't like help their relationship.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. There's always tension. There's always tension between her and her parents, and the relationship, especially as the relationship grows with her and Mark, and spoiler, they build stuff happens between her and Mark, and it doesn't bring the families together.
Right.
Yeah. But that scene on the freaking bridge, okay, so the homeboy is like, the guy meets her, the guy who's, got her mother out, and he's now homeless on the streets, and you got to stay off the grid, and he tells her, stop using your powers, they'll find you. Her first use of her powers are dope. She's like, what if your masks were like lead or something? And she turned those robbers' masks into men.
Yes, and their head, yeah, that was
And
pretty
I'm
dope.
like, how can they breathe? You're killing them.
Well,
And
they could
then
breathe because they
they still have
couldn't.
the. Oh, but
They would have to. They would need like a plasma cutter to get those things off, and that
Yeah,
would work
She
out
that was
very
has.
well.
soft, so you could kind of
She's
grind it off.
like
Maybe.
one of the most powerful entities in all comics let loose.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy what she can do, especially like if you read the comics, like what she can do.
Well, what she ends up
she's
doing
very
in other
Dr.
countries.
Manhattan-ish, where she creates her own like
Like Scarlet Witch, Doctor Manhattan. Like
Yeah.
can
Well, it's not even
literally.
Scarlet Witch because Scarlet Witch is just changing the image of reality. She's actually changing reality.
Didn't
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch change reality at one point in the comics?
She
Was that House of
did
M?
in House of M. She gave, which is a great. Anyone who's not familiar with House of M should read that. She does completely redo the entire world essentially and gives everyone exactly what they've ever wanted.
Scarlet
Their
Witch
heart's
is like
desire.
the most powerful person in comics. But Adam and Eve, listen. So she winds up superheroing some more. She has her costume and her mask, and then we get that bridge fight with her siblings. That was awesome.
Yeah. It
And
gave us the
brutal.
brutality that we know Invincible for, and kind of like
But
You
it
know
also
it's
gave you
coming.
the heart.
yeah.
In the most unlikely setting is where you got the most amount of heart in this content. And it's
So-
violent and it's graphic and it's a fight scene, but it's also
She holds her brother's hand at the end, like
Well, that's why I give the thing with the parents a pass and the thing with the friend a pass. Because if you only have an hour, they made this matter and have stakes, and all the
Yeah.
reasons of why was here. So if they had to decide like where to shift their story, it's got to be with them.
well, and the whole content changed from the fight scene to where she goes back to the hospital and meets her mom, she gets captured to the end of the content. So from the fight to the end,
Is where we're like
That's-
now we're
that's-
in it. That's the content.
now we're in Invincible, yeah.
Yeah. And man, and they're the rejects. They're the ones that were made without what's his name? The guy who got her mother out. Like they were made without him. So like they're these off-brand worst version of a version of a version of a version, copy and paste, and they're falling apart in the fight. And there's just so much anger and pain, and like they hate her so much because they're not her, but they also recognize that because they still say you're my sister,
right.
Yeah.
Like
and
it's messed up, dude. It's messed up.
ah,
It's messed up in the best way.
yeah. And then we see her try to save people in the cars, so we see that she's still here to help people. She wants to save people, and yeah, dude dies in her arms. But literally, some of them are falling apart as they're fighting. This is gruesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one guy falls apart and comes back together.
They can
Yeah.
be, a lot of them can be. But she was like, they can like change their own organic matter. She's like, they can do something I can't do, and that's what we hear about the fail safe. And
Right.
I couldn't allow you to do that. But then when she gets cut, like her body, she heals herself, and
Well, she first heals her clothes in the fight scene on the bridge. She heals, and you're like, oh, she healed herself. But then the blood comes through her clean clothes.
right.
So it's like she wasn't able to do that until she went, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Can I talk about something that happens later in the comics? Like this won't even show up till like season 8. Cover your ears if y'all don't hear it. Yo, Adam Eve dies in the comics. It unleashes her powers, and she's able to like birth herself back. She's able to like grab her matter, and like she comes back. It's kind of crazy the amount of power
it's
she
almost
has.
very Dr. Manhattan-esque.
Yeah, it's very Dr.
Very. She's very Dr. Manhattan. She winds up creating her own island and living off of it and eating off the trees. Her powers are sick. So I hope we get there. Anyway, so basically, she gets taken. They get taken to the laboratory, where she
I have
sees
a
her
very particular skill set.
very particular skill set, and she sees like her mother is still there being used as like, this is sick.
You know what it reminded me
This is
of was Final Fantasy, like Genova in the tube, and they're just birthing all these things off of this twisted husk of a half human entity at this point.
This is sick. And you know what? I wish it was a half human entity. I wish she had no face. But the fact that she does makes me feel like she feels pain in there somewhere. Like some part of her consciousness is aware of what's happening to her, even though she might be brain dead. It's like, this is sick.
Yeah.
This is sick. And Eve sees it and realizes like,
But it's also like, you consider that like all right, so now going back in time, the doctor literally cuts her open to rip Eve out, while inadvertently she was alive on that table and just needs to be resuscitated. And the guy said, and the bad guy says, well, if I'd gotten there sooner, she wouldn't be brain dead. And you're like, yo, Doc, you really botched that.
It's your fault, bro.
Because like her siblings even said, like when they were holding the doc over the bridge, and she was like, no, like, you want to save him? None of these people are good. The only good person is Eve in this entire content. Her friend is trash. Her parents are trash. His lab is trash. Her siblings are trash. Her surrogate father figure's trash. They're all bad. And like, yeah, Jack, we talked about it, but in the end, like, she pretty much can like kill them all, and she doesn't. She makes them all forget. She made them forget. Like, so how does she do that?
I don't know.
She changed organic matter.
Yeah. In her supreme form, she can go against the failsafe.
And not just like the intricacies it takes to change someone's brain chemistry to just forget events. Like, she was a surgeon with that type. That's precise.
Right.
That's precise, man. Most powerful freaking, I don't know, she's not a mutant, most powerful person. So then we get her at home. She comes home and it's her birthday. She's late. Her dad ate some of the cake. And I'm like, well, you are late for your birthday.
Yeah.
Like, get grounded.
No, this
Like,
guy's got zero redeeming qualities.
He straight up ate the cake. He's like, I'm not waiting for her. I'm eating a piece of cake. He's a jerk.
Doug. If you come home late and I don't get no phone call or text from you, and she's been going to walk, she had a whole bridge fight and was abducted, so she's been gone for a while, and you show up late to your birthday when you know we got plans, you know you in trouble, Chris. You know you in trouble.
It's true. He's still a jerk, though. He'd have to eat the cake, cut the cake without her.
No, that's how you put your foot down. You're lucky there's still cake left. There would have just been candles in a circle.
That's just spiteful.
Yeah, no, he's petty.
And then we get our post-credit scene,
which is, it's a wonderful post-credit scene because you kind of look at it going like, what does this do? But it shows you one kid is having a perfect childhood, unbeknownst to him. And one kid is having a terrible childhood, but it's making her stronger.
Oh, that's right. That's Mark, tinfoil man. He comes down, tinfoil man.
Just woke up.
No, I'm trying to remember. Like, damn, I watched it when it first came out. It was just like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, damn, did Mark did I watch the end credit scene?
Covered in duct tape.
Yeah,
he came out. He's like, Dad, if I don't, so Mark Grayson comes out, his dad, Omni Man, flies in. He's like, Dad, if I don't even get my powers, I can still like be tinfoil man. And his mom was like, that duct tape's gonna be hard to remove. And you see his father kind of smile as his son walks off, and then the scowl, and then sadness.
Yeah.
Oh, it was different than a scowl. He was gonna like kill the woman because she told him she gave him an order. Mark's mom gave.
I took it as that was towards his son, because if he doesn't get powers, then
I
no way, dude.
That was towards his son.
This guy, Omni-Man is here to burn the whole globe down, impregnate people, and make other virgin.
Right.
And that lady gave him an order.
That's not
handle the dishes.
You're right. She was out of place.
Are you kidding me? And then she walks away, and his eyeline doesn't look to where the son went upstairs. His eyeline stuck to where the mom was.
He didn't smell dinner cooking.
Sure, shut up. You can get us canceled. Jack, but what's the content? The content is I need my son to have powers so we can start the invasion.
Right.
And my son doesn't have powers
No,
yet.
but
That's the content. Though.
No, that's not true because we know from watching series 1 and reading the comics that he was secretly hoping Mark would never develop powers so he wouldn't have to kill everybody.
Which is why he gets sad after his scowl. So it's not because we don't end the episode with she better not tell me what to do. We end the episode with he needs to get his powers because I have my mission, a mission I don't want to fulfill. Right. That's the end of the episode.
We found he really loves Mark's mother.
Yeah, and that's their relationship. She didn't just start talking about him this way today. Mark is like 10 years old. They've been together for at least 11 years.
Yeah, you're right. But he's still probably mad. She's still trying to dictate things.
No, Chris, you're mad, and it's all that because you watched Barbie.
It's true.
Sad.
The patriarchy needs to come back.
No, when did it go away, Chris?
That's a good point. Aaron. That's a good point.
What are you talking? You're fighting for nothing.
Hey, well, that never stopped people in the past.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. How do you guys? I guess we can rate this because
we have to.
It's a one-off.
It's a one-off. Yeah,
it's a one-off.
What happened, Jack? What do you think?
I don't understand how you rank it. I guess you say good or bad.
You can give it a number score. It's a one-off. It's a film. It's Atom Eve, the movie, pretty much.
I'll start. I give it an 8. Yeah, it was great.
8?
Yeah, it was great. 8's great.
No,
I mean, it wasn't mind-blowing. It wasn't Invincible mind-blowing, but it was great.
I give it an 8. All the things I had issues with, I didn't really have issues with while I was watching it. As we're talking about it, I started thinking about it. But in my watch,
it cannot be ranked without taking into account the Invincible series, which you've already watched.
You gotta hold it as a standalone, Jack. You gotta take it. You gotta base it exactly on the content that was given to us.
Yeah, stop bringing your baggage of your past relationship.
It's not an 8. It's not an 8. The content has way too many holes in it without.
But it has holes.
The parents are unredeemable. The characters you don't understand their motivations. There's massive. Yes, I understand. There's massive story problems.
Well, I mean, you figure it's okay. So, what do you give it?
6.5. But the
crazy.
The bridge scene is great, man.
6.5.
7 tops
at least.
Compared to what,
dude?
Spider-Man's multiverse.
The parents were underdeveloped, but I can get having expectations,
and they were more than underdeveloped.
I can understand having expectations of a child who is strange, who is weird, and it's nothing that you imagine your life to be. And now you're walking around with a chip on your shoulder. I can fill in those blanks easily. That's not a huge leap for me to go, why is she just staring at the wall? Why can't she just be like regular kids? I can rock with that's all I need. I can move on. I can move from that. The friend being weirded out, Jack, if you can fly, that'd be great. But if your powers were like your eyes turn red and the sky turns black, exactly. Guess what? I'm out. It depends what kind of powers you got. So I can fill in the blanks enough not to give this a 6.5. I think you gave that Stallone movie a 5.5. This is only 1 degree better.
Up to the 7, though. That's fair enough.
All right, so up to the 7. You won me over. So collectively, we give it a 7.6. So let's say 7.5 is fair.
There's no pleasing everyone, Chris.
7.5 is fair. This thing isn't standalone. If you hadn't watched the whole series, if you weren't so, and listen, I am anticipating season 2. This is just a little bit of satiating substance I need to get me to when season 2 drops. But if it weren't for that, this thing doesn't stand alone like that. It's fun. It's cool. A little one-off. Okay, sure, fine. But it's not.
I mean, I think what you got to take it for what it was meant to be. It's not meant to be.
But that's my point. Yeah. It's almost like a holiday special.
No, it's not.
Nah.
No, it's not.
It's more than that. It's not
it's not a standalone. It's not like it's an hour and a half, 2-hour content.
It's not.
But Bridge Fight and On, it's just as compelling.
Bridge Fighting On is great. Bridge Fighting On is
I won't say it's more compelling, but it's
not more compelling than the last episode of Invincible, which
it's
is
not.
No.
But
It's good.
it's right there.
Good.
It's in the same universe. It's in the same world.
It
It's
is
not a
the same
letdown.
universe. That
It's
is
not a
correct.
Definitely not.
letdown.
No, it's definitely
It's
not.
not a letdown. The story's just a little weak.
Yeah, it's better than Twisted Metal. I'll tell you that right now.
What did you give Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special? Where did you rank
I don't
that?
remember.
Probably
6.5.
gave it a 9.
9.
But Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I thought was really good.
Well, your Guardians of the
was
Galaxy
great.
3 was amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh,
Well, all right. That's what we got for this. Let us know in the chat if you guys are still around. If not, let us know in the comment section. This thing is on YouTube forever. What you guys thought about Atom Eve and Invincible special. Right about this time, we go to our recommendations. So, Chris,
Recommend Chris.
Sure. I got some good origin stories. No particular order, but just some stuff that gives you some good origin stories if you got the origin bug in you. The first one I have is Superman 78. Great origin. I think it's showed up a lot on my recommendations, but it's a good origin story.
Wow, you don't usually bring up that movie.
I like it. It's so good though.
Do you?
I
feel like I've never heard you talk about.
I think I brought up once before. I have to go through. I have a little book.
Well, you've never heard him talk about it because you lost that podcast.
That is true.
Whatever.
That is true.
Number 2, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 84. Great origin story of a lovely franchise that molded our childhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Iron Man. Fantastic origin story. One of the top 10, top 5 maybe Marvel movies. It is really, really good. Number 4, a little bit different. Casino Royale gave us the James Bond origin story.
True.
They did.
Casino Royale was pretty good, Lawrence. That was good when it came. And it's John Logan, who's a phenomenal writer.
I love how they try to go like, let's make a gritty, realistic movie. And he gets bashed in his balls for 10 minutes and then has a love scene right afterward.
That's an interesting point.
How do you think you fix that problem?
There was an odd jump of time there, or lack thereof. That's true.
I thought this was the gritty, realistic take.
Yeah. I mean, that's the opening stuff where you had the one guy doing the parkour and him just running through walls that had no framing but sheetrock.
Yeah. It's not Fast and Furious, but it's not necessarily a Born Identity.
It's not Fast.
It's not Fast and Furious,
right?
Because everything you think Dom can survive, a bash to the balls, and then you having a sex scene later. That's Fast and the Furious level healing, man. Go ahead.
And then my last one is Deadpool. First Deadpool, great origin story, one of my favorites. I love that movie so much.
Oh, Chris, you're missing like a lot of amazing origin
I only
stories.
give 5.
Okay, can I throw in a couple honorable mentions?
Sure.
First of all, that first Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire. This is a story. It starts with a girl. It's a wonderful origin story. Yeah. Second, The Matrix might be the best origin story that's ever been made.
That's not really an origin story. It's an original story.
No.
But if you said like Batman Begins, that's an origin story.
No, Neo.
Is that not on your list?
Neo.
I have a love-hate relationship.
Mr. Anderson becoming Neo by the end is an origin story.
It's true. I'll give it to you.
It literally follows the blueprint perfectly. He starts out as a computer geek and turns into a god, Jack.
You're right. But how is nobody mentioning Green Lantern?
That's true. That is true. Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is gold. Comic book gold. Take my money now, because I need to see that movie again.
And moving on.
Well, that is our...
Wait.
All right, yeah.
I got one more thing. This kid lives for this. The fourth brother, Sebastian.
Brother's son.
Yeah, right? He tells everyone. You know what he did? He was with somebody, and he put his arm around them. He said, you know you're with a YouTuber right now? So the humbleness is there, but he loves this show more than anyone. And he has some stuff he wants to show, and he'll be quick. But go ahead, show what you got. So we saw Mutant Mayhem. We talked about. We saw Mutant Mayhem yesterday.
Can you give me a second?
No, now's the time. Now's the time to shine.
So I got Splinter.
Wow.
He has
Splinter?
glasses?
Yeah, the glasses come off too,
Splinter
which
has
is great
glasses
because you're gonna lose them right away.
Yeah.
Bebop?
Oh, I love Bebop.
You got
Where is his other wing?
It's okay. Don't worry about
Did
the
you guys go right to Target right after the movie and get all these figures?
Yeah, no, we got them before we saw the movie. We got them in Arizona.
Superfly?
So we thought this was Baxter Stockman, but when you see the movie, you realize he's related to Baxter Stockman, but it's not Baxter Stockman.
But there is so he's not taking his place.
No, he's not taking his place. But Baxter,
Oh.
he is tied to Baxter Stockman in a really good way. But this is the main villain, Superfly,
Oh.
voiced by Ice Cube.
He's the main villain?
He's the main villain.
No Shredder?
No Shredder. Nope.
There are Shredder.
Hey, spoiler alert!
Hey,
homeboy.
spoilers.
Spoiler alert! You can't just drop. People haven't seen the movie. The movie's not officially out yet. Quick, I'll hand them to you.
Leonardo with the sword.
Go. It's okay. Don't even show the shorts. Here's Raph.
Raphael?
That looks like Mike.
No.
Oh, he's
Tell
orange
Jack to learn
though.
your colors.
It's red. It's his lights.
Yeah,
It's
tell
his
Jack to
camera.
learn your colors.
Leonardo?
I love these.
Don't know the difference
Donatello?
between orange and red.
His glasses are on there somewhere. In the bag I got him. And Michelangelo.
Yeah, Mike. I like that Wolverine poster too.
Oh, thank you. We got that at a estate sale recently.
Sebastian, I went to the toy store too.
Woo!
I saw that video.
Oh, you saw? Oh, thank you, Sebastian. That just tickled my cold heart.
Wow.
See, Jack, look there. Yeah,
I saw the video, Lawrence.
But I'm saying, look, you can see orange and red, right?
Yep.
Yes, I see
So
orange
we're
and
only
red.
missing. We're missing Rocksteady and one other guy. I'm not sure which other guy we're missing. And Leatherhead, the alligator. And
Yeah,
then we have
April?
all of them.
You got April?
There's no April toy out yet.
There is. She's
There
in a
is?
pack,
What?
though. She's in a pack.
Unbelievable.
She's in the.
This is 2023. How there's not April toy first?
There is. She's in a pack, Jack.
A pack of
Oh,
what?
okay. All right.
Like
She
there's-
should come with
there's
the
a
van,
card
maybe.
pack.
She
No.
come
The
with the
pack
van?
looks like the car. The
Wait,
pack
hold
looks like
on
a
one
van.
second. I got a turtle van.
Okay. but
You
we
have
gotta
the
do it
turtle
next time.
The
van?
turtle van.
No, they have it out. We haven't bought it because we have a turtle van from another series, but we haven't bought it. But we did see it in the store yesterday.
I got mine from my childhood still.
Yeah, we're rocking a vintage turtle van, but most likely we will end up buying a turtle van.
They're just good looking figures, man.
They are good looking figures. They're good. They're fun.
They're just. I love
Also, that those glasses?
good looking figures.
Same.
Yeah, so they're good
Man,
stuff.
Wait.
All right.
Have you ever thought putting Donnie's glasses on Leo?
Crazy.
No.
Now we
Oh,
crossed.
now
the line.
now
All right.
Sebastian.
You do a
All
lot
right,
of
let's
things.
wrap it
Jim.
up. Good job,
Um,
Ashley.
Well, that is our show. If you're watching us on YouTube, man, we'll be back. We're doing this live from now on, man. You get to
We're
see
live.
the whole show. Before, the whole show was just given to those listening on the podcast, but now you get to see our faces do the whole show. And we also got a podcast. So if you just want to listen to us and not see us, that link is still in the description below. If you're on YouTube, please comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like. If you're listening to the podcast, you know what to do. If you haven't, leave a review. It helps with the algorithm. And we'll be back. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.
My man.